So Eugenia Price, thank you very much for coming and joining us today on our physics employability event we hold every year. You gave a very nice talk earlier on. Just want to sort of summarise a little bit some of the things that you said, and just could you first of all tell us a little bit about what you do now and your journey there?
Yeah, so I'm now a data engineer for Swansea Sensor Technology, which is a railway sensor company. And basically what I do is I analyse data coming in from one of those sensors and I categorise it for different events. So whether that's wheel detection, train detection, or people walking, I just analyse that data to make sure we get the right alarms.
And what were you doing prior to that?
Prior to that, I was doing a PhD at Bristol University on the LHCb experiment. And the reason that I started doing that was because when I was at Swansea University, I worked on the Alpha experiment, which is also at CERN, and I kind of got exposed to that environment.
Okay. So you went to CERN as part of your final year project on the MPhys program here at
Yes,
Swansea.
I did, yeah.
And you started in the first year and worked your way through, and you came in, you said, through clearing.
Yeah, so I actually came through clearing. I didn't get the A-levels that I was meant to get. I got a B, a C and a D, and I was predicted 2 A's and a B. I went through clearing, and in my first year I didn't do too well. And then I worked really hard from there and ended up getting a first in the end. So I started from the bottom and kind of worked my way up.
Very good. So obviously you're a high achiever, and what sort of skill sets do you think that you developed as your undergraduate degree that really helped you on your road to where you are now?
So one of the really important things was programming. I think that's really valuable in basically any role you do these days. Nearly every company likes if you have a programming experience, just so you can do some bits even if it's not the role itself. Also, we did a lot of, obviously, report writing and stuff, and you wouldn't think that that's going to necessarily benefit you, but we have to do a lot of reports and things for clients, so having the statistical analysis from that and just writing in a scientific way is really useful, and also a lot of teamwork that you have to do in your projects with groups.
So your team project in the second year,
yeah, that was definitely useful.
Was a good preparation.
Yeah, it's a good preparation because you work with different people that you weren't necessarily friends with, and you all have different dynamics, and it's important to get used to that because every job you have, there's going to be different personalities, and you need to learn how to work with them.
Very good. And if you had to give sort of, from the perspective of trying to give a bit of advice to these students now who are just on the verge of going into their careers, what sort of things should they look for? What sort of things should they really be aware of when they start to go into that job market? What would you be your sort of golden bit of advice?
I would say, where you can, apply to the companies directly, because especially in my case, I don't have great A-levels, and some companies will filter you if it's through maybe a recruitment agent or something.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a real person looking at your CV or whatever, they are likely to realise that those A-levels don't really matter if you have a first-class degree, whereas some companies might discard you because of that.
Yeah. So I think that's really good, a bit of advice, because a lot of people don't even take up the opportunity of even contacting someone who might leave their name and address and contact details as part of the advert, and they just put the application in and then they don't hear anything back. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you make contact and you make those direct contacts with companies, it can be really fruitful contact.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well.